Bam!
Are we back?
Are we back? And do you guys hear sound out there? Text us. We need to know if you guys are hearing this. Is there sound?
Can you hear us?
Can you hear us? No. Yes?
Maybe.
Maybe so?
Yes.
All right, thank God. We are the worst, okay? We can do great hair, we can do great texture, but for some reason, to get sound on this is unbelievable. So why don't you pan in up front and show, let Danielle go through different ways of creating texture with some of the iron tools that you guys have in your salon that I think is really, really important. So if you see it right over here, you know, you guys could be creating texture with your curling irons. Of course, vent brushes create texture into the hair. That's why these half moons are back here, guys. All right, why? Because it gives you maximum amount of airflow. So when you want to create texture, you can rough up the hair, or you can really go in there and smooth out the hair. That's why I love working with a vent brush, for me.
Yeah, definitely. It'll help you create the body, you know, as well as add more texture within the hair.
And volume.
Yeah, and I love volume because I have like 3 hairs, so that's definitely one of the things that I like to work with.
True. Texture wands. You know, this is what's really cool about this is that, you know, I'm sure you guys work with different texture wands. So if you use any type of a wand that has any type of format that you can crimp with, you know, it's a great way to create really kind of much more of that frizz control, though, in a little bit more textured format. But most importantly, too, you know, your diffusers. You know, sometimes we forget about utilizing a diffuser, and you can take straight hair and kind of crimp it and make a little bit more texture out of diffuse hair. Not necessarily this curly, but still go back into.
Yeah, and actually one of my favorite things to do, you know, I work with this diffuser, but, you know, not just with our tools, but as well as our products, you know, and I know that's another thing we're going to talk about, and the AG recoil is probably one of my favorite products to put in, even if the hair is slightly wavy or a little curly. You know, for me, AG works on an array of a bunch of my clients that I can place that AG into the hair, and then I go in with my blow dryer, my diffuser, and I kind of boost it up, give it volume, and redefine those curls or waves. So definitely when you're working with the wavy hair or the curly hair, that's one of my favorite things to do.
But you know what, it's funny because I think that we tend to forget, though, that there's different tools to work with in our stations or in the salon that we can create texture into the hair. And what I'm getting at is, I was going to try and sneak off for a minute to get that.
I didn't know what he was trying to tell me, so instead he made me choke on my words.
But anyway, but you know what, there are so many different types of curling irons. That happens to be a rotating curling iron. Let me just show you this, guys. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but this iron is awesome because it is a rotating iron that you can constantly just turn. And it's a great iron to work with whenever you want to create texture to the hair. You know, it is a spring iron, but yet that rotatingness allows that iron to wrap that hair around. And I believe, you know, a beach waver has one out, guys. Beach waver is a great iron to create texture to the hair, so, you know, kudos to them. It's really heavy. Here's another funny thing that I want to talk about is, you know, when you talk about creating texture into the hair, like you did, Danielle, with color here, you know, you can tone that down, too, and create more tonal texture. I love this. This happens to be my favorite, just like the ad that we did to create that. If you can get that, let me put that in the light and get that real up close, Gloria. And you could see, you know, well, go ahead, Dee, why don't you talk about it?
So what you guys are going to notice on this one is we work with a triangular section, and we took that triangle and we kind of put some depth here in the front, but working more with tone on tone. So you see a deeper tone of that here in the front, and everywhere else, what you're going to see, you're going to tip her down, so you can see a little bit more.
Take more in the light. Take more in the light.
There you go. What you're going to notice everywhere else is the rest of that hair that lays on top of it and behind it is a little bit brighter. So a little bit different than going in with
now you see it.
Two completely different colors, but working more naturally and more subtly with 2 different tonalities in the same family.
Right, right. And I love that because I love this depth that you guys kind of created here, you know, and that is amazing because, look, you know, all that shatteredness, all this hair, the reason why this hair kind of lays like that is because it is shattered, it is textured, you have that separation, you have a nice rounded shape through the interior in here, and it's kind of amazing because when I went back in to cut that, that was just all cut with texturizing blades, okay? I didn't utilize a straight blade at all in this haircut. I just simply went in with texturizing blades, basically going in there to really emphasize the added texture that you created with the color. So I think that that is awesome. And here's the bottom line. You know, we blew this out, and we did blow this out with a product. It happens to be one of my favorite products I like to create texture with, but a little bit more softer type of a texture. One of my favorite products, guys, to create texture with is Wired. Wired has been around for years. It is a rust product. Work with it. I have it in my hair right now just to create that separation, that pieciness, and then of course I go on top of it with a stronger holding spray. I've been using the Biomega spray, really BioQuash, to really firm it up. But Wired is the best product whether you want to create that smoothness and that separation, you know, so that you can really separate that hair and add that added texture. So if you look over here, we kind of panned out an array of different manufacturers' texturizing products. Let's go and talk about two or three of them. Pick two or three. I'll pick two or three. You can go first.
Okay.
No. But I think what's really cool is because we can give tips on how we utilize this to create a lot of immense texture into the hair. And you need products, guys. In order to create texture, you need some type of product in the hair, because you know what? The holy gods don't come and say, okay, we're going to make this hair a little bit more textured today.
We're not all Victoria's Secret models.
Exactly. So you need something that's going to help to support the style that you've created. So I think that these are some of the top products that we picked that we feel we like to create texture. And I'm sure you guys have your own out there that you guys work with. So make sure to continue to utilize them. Most importantly, make sure every client walks home with a product like that.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't send them home without the things they need to take care of it. They can't create it if you can't create it without the product.
Sure.
So I'm going to go and talk about the texture spray. This one's for my grandma.
Ah, great.
My Nana loves this product, and the reason why is because she has a finer hair. And I also work with this product for the same reason. If somebody has a little bit of a finer texture, I like to go in with the texture spray. I shake the can to kind of prime it, and it gets sprayed out in spurts. The product comes out, and I kind of shake my fingers through the hair. It creates texture and volume at the same time. So as opposed to something like Wired, where you would get that created texture but a little bit more smoothness and separation, it's going to create a little bit more of a rougher volume to the hair.
Right, and there's so many texture sprays out there, aerosols, non-aerosols. You know, this happens to be one of Danielle's favorites. She kind of goes in there and utilizes that. It's more of a dry texture spray, am I right?
Correct.
It allows you to go in there. I have to pick out one of my favorites that I work with. I showed you guys it was Wired, but here's another one. It's actually the texture spray wax by Redken, actually, and I think that this is a great product to work with. It kind of same type of concept, but it does have a little bit more of a touchable feel to the hair, so that you can really work the hair, blow dry this into the hair, or spray it back into the hair, and give a little bit of that separation texture to hair without having that stiffiness to the hair. So it is a great product that is out there on the market. I'm sure you guys have tried it before. Check it out. It's Wax Blast. Good product to work in there and to utilize, especially when you want to have something that's more touchable and more feelable. And you want the hair, for God's sake, to feel like hair. So when you pick that product, that certain texturizing product, pick a product that's really going to make the hair still feel like it's hair.
Yeah, absolutely. That being said, you know, gloss wax is definitely one of the products that I like when I do curls. I put just a little bit on my fingertips, and it adds a little shine. So if the hairspray is a little stiff, it kind of breaks it up to give it that softer feeling, as well as add a little shine to the hair and take care of those little flyaways.
Right, right. And control them more. You know, everything is about controlling the hair and manipulating the hair. You know, we can manipulate the hair, but without control, then we're just not going to have any support in anything that we do. So you guys keep that in mind. And most importantly, you know, I always recommend to start out working with a product, especially when you're working with fibers or gloss waxes. Even the Wired by Rusk going in there, start out a little bit, working into the palm of your hands, and then really working through the hair. It controls a lot of that flyawayness that you see in the hair, gives that control, that support, that foundation, and most importantly, it gives it the added texture that was designed to create into the hair. So keep that in mind. I can tell you about one more that I kind of like, and that I've been using as well a lot today, is the uplifting foam. And uplifting foam is another product, it's by a Quad actually. So as you can see, we carry them all here. Aquaj, Redken, Russ, American Crew, Wella, Mop, all of it, because they are products that clients can utilize to create texture into the hair. And it's not about, hey, you know what, go up down the block and pick it up somewhere else. It's, hey, you're here, we did the hair, try it. So uplifting foam is a great product to use, especially when you're applying it to the entire shaft of the hair and combing it through the hair. And I found that I've gotten best results out of it. My friends, fellow educators I know, use uplifting foam by Quad, especially when they're prepping the hair to do updos. So if you guys have not tried that.
That's how I started to use it, and I absolutely fell in love with it that way. I know you mentioned it to me, I tried it out, and it's definitely, guys, an awesome product for prepping your updos. Get those flyaways out, get that control you need to style the hair, whether you're curling, flat ironing.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And it's amazing, Danielle, because I mean, for me, listen, guys, I'm a cutter, I'm a colorist, I can whip out a cut, I can do some mean-ass texture. I do like doing updos. It's not one of my favorites. I kind of throw them over to Danielle. But don't feel, Danielle, when we do use that, we prep the hair. It's all about prepping the hair.
Absolutely.
And I've learned that from my fellow educators over at Quad. When you prep the hair and you use a product like uplifting foam, it gives you that more smoothness of hair. And sometimes when you touch hair and you're playing with hair, you get that stickiness you feel, you get all those flyaways. Yeah. You don't get that with a product.
You don't get that stickiness. Absolutely not.
I know. I got to share one thing with you and one of our colleagues, and I'm going to kind of sneak over here because it's right over here. One of our colleagues, Jen, who is probably home watching, and if she's not, I want to know why. But Jen was doing an updo and she was adding texture to the hair. Here was another product that she was using that I kind of liked and thought it was a great idea. And it was a style duster, okay? It's a little bit lighter than most other style dusters that are out there. This one happens to be from Label M. And what was really cool about it, what I like is...
Oh, I see what you're doing, you dirty rat.
I see, she actually, when she puts it in the hair, she uses it while she's blow drying. And it creates an immense amount of texture into the hair. So when she just shakes it in, you can see how light that goes in. But what's cool about that is look at the immense texture that you can create. And Danielle... I love her. I swear to God, she's my left hand, my right hand, and everything else, but she's got frog fur for hair.
It's true.
So whenever I try to cut her, I have to find products that are going to give me the texture that I want. And most importantly, because if it is not touchable and feels like hair, she's going to let me hear about it. And
yeah, if I can't put my fingers through it, I don't like it.
Absolutely. So things like that, those are just little tricks. And especially I noticed Jen happened to be using that one day in the salon when she was doing an updo, and she sprinkled it in the hair and kind of lifted up the hair, and then she started doing this pieciness and curliness. I'm like, why are you doing that? And she goes, it gives me that added texture. It's almost like it's going to kind of rough up the hair from the root out, and I think that's really important. So, pin in on here, Gloria, show them all the different products that they can work with. These are just some of the picks that we picked for you guys. To show you that, there's so many different things that you could work with out on the market today. Whether you're manufacturing your own products, whether you're using products from one manufacturer. I think one manufacturer alone could have like 30 different texturizing things in it.
Absolutely.
And here's another trick, okay? Another tip that we always talk about. Have you guys ever used a dry shampoo as a texturizing lift for the hair? It's a great way to, refresh the hair. Add some dry shampoo into the hair. Blow dry it out, especially before you're going to do an updo. Gives it more added texture to the hair. So keep those in mind. Just little tips, little tricks. I hope they were able to help you guys with that.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so here we go. Here's, there's the grand Kuba of texture. These are the big guns. I think it's really, really important to think about this. I love this look.
Oh, you want me to put? I didn't see it.
I think she wanted
I'm
to
missing
come
all my
closer.
cues tonight for some
Yeah.
reason.
But I love this because, you know, this was a great collaboration between Danielle and I, and talking about, listen, this is my outcome, this is what I want to do, let's go in there and create something. And we kind of pulled some tricks that we used to use before, like going into the alphabets and taking the upside down W. So, you know, it's kind of funny because when we were educating people this a while ago, Danielle, and I came up with the idea, I would say an upside down W, somebody would say it looked like it's an N. There you go. Depending on where you stand, if you're standing from this side, it's an upside down W. If you're standing from this side, it's an N. But it's a really, really cool way. And I like the fact how Danielle used 3 different shades in there to create different shades of blonding in there, going in from something that's a little bit more caramel to a little bit more gold to a little bit more lighter. And I think that's a great way to create more added texture when you're coloring here. But it was a great idea. So basically it was just going in there and creating that kind of shaping. Let me see if I can get this out for you guys so you guys can see this. Okay, so starting from the far right side and just coming straight up, coming back down to a peak and then back out again, and just to create, you know, almost, depending on where you're looking at it, as an M or an upside down W in that area. So it's, when you think about it, it's all triangles and diamonds that you're putting together, you know. So by doing that, what she did is kind of just washed the color on top of that. That was all pre-lightened in, and then you kind of went in there with some of the caramels that you see up top, and then coming down into a gold and going back down into a more blonde effect. And I like that because that creates a lot of texture in front of it.
Well, you're creating texture with that. You know, I did it with a triangle as well as with the color. You know, the color from the fading from the lighter to the more gold. And the triangle is always going to give us a little bit of diffusion because the triangle is always going to diffuse that color out as well. So between the tonality and the actual color placement, it's like a dual texture battle.
Right, nice, beautiful work. So here's the cool thing, all right, and I left it a little bit heavy in the front because we're going to demonstrate something for you guys. So you see all that added texture that was created with the color, but yet by working with texturizing blades, whether you're chipping and notching, using razors, whatever you guys are using, I choose to use a texturizing blade, okay? I work with several different texturizing blades that I work with. I sometimes use a razor too, but if you can see right up here, you know, these are just some of the texturizing blades that we do work with, all right? They happen to be rust blades, to be honest with you. And they're, you know, whether you're working with a 35 tooth blade, an 8 tooth blade, or 27 tooth blade. But all these tools that you see up in here, the clips, the texturizing combs that we work with, a razor, you know, a clipper by Dazzles. This is an awesome buzzer and clipper to work with to create texture into the hair. Those are tricks and tips of creating different texture into the hair. But what's really cool is when you can go into a haircut. Now, this haircut, all right, was kind of created in 4 simple quads, and the quads are divided up into 4 different triangle areas. But I left that bang area heavier. You know, this is all textured. If you look at that hair, all right, that was all textured out. It was textured out with a 35 tooth blade, a gamma blade, right, to create that softer texture into hair. Versus looking at something like this, that's a little bit much more torn. You know how you got all that torn texture into the hair. So there's different ways to create texture. And what's really cool about this too is whenever you want to open this up even more, all right, because of the way that the color was placed, you're just going to take these, all right, in pie-shaped partings, and you're going to bring it to its opposite side. And this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to actually cut it from the inside. And because I'm working with a texturizing blade that does have that 360-degree swivel, it gives me that much more control in order for me to work this way. So my elbow is always down, it's not up. So even if I'm doing it this way, I'm going to take that and I'm going to work that all the way out. And the reason why I'm doing it from that side, okay, I'm standing over here so you guys can see it, is that when I go to bring this back to the opposite side, you see how it cuts that shorter? And it softens out that area? So that's all you're doing. You're taking some of that length off as you're adding texture. That's why we left that a little heavier for you, because I wanted to finish it for you guys. So again, I'm just taking those 3 sections to the opposite side. All right, working from the top all the way down. I'm going to take my next section and do the same thing, and this should be my last section. So that when I come over here, as you can see, it's starting to get shorter. So that is going to actually create that disconnection there, but it's going to connect to the shorter piece that we have here. So working in there like that, and working it out to the end. All that does is help to lighten that up. All right, so your model can actually see. So, you know, this happens to be one of my favorites. I love that longer front, you know, with that beautiful texture.
I love anything asymmetrical.
Well, hello. Can we take a look at this? But here's what I want to show you this. Like, you know, Danielle's cut was kind of basically done the same way with that in mind. And again, you know, by taking those diagonal sections.
What are you doing?
And bringing nothing. I'm just showing them. We're not cutting anything.
Yeah,
we're just
you are.
No, we're not. Watch. We're just going to go in.
Don't you do, I swear to you, I'll give you a purple notebook right on the camera.
I'm actually not, though. You're just going to go in there and take that off just like that.
I promised you I would, and I did.
No, but here's the thing, guys. All right, so that was cut that way. So here's the bottom line. If this hair was blow dried to go just straight down, you could blow dry it that way. But because of that added texture that was added back there, you get that movement that's going to stay over to that side. So it creates a lot of dimension and a lot of texture into hair today. So I think it's important for you guys to think about the different tools, different approaches, different ways to add texture into the hair. And it doesn't matter if the hair has a medium texture, doesn't matter if the hair is much more of a finer texture, okay? This hair is a little bit more coarser, a little bit more thicker. This hair definitely has a finer texture to it. Or if it has curly texture to the hair. You know, the only difference with curly hair, and I gotta tell you guys this, watch me mess this thing up. The only difference with curly hair is the way you texture curly hair versus texturing anything on a smoother or a straighter format. You know, as you can see in the bangs, you know, the cut right there was all texturized out. But if you're really going to texturize out on curly hair, you know, you would still want to go in and texturize that, but not necessarily work it all the way out to the ends. So you're just coming into
texturizing those ends all the way out to the ends. That's how I'm sure you guys, as either if you're just a client or consumer or even a stylist, that's how you get that frizz. That's how you get that frizz, so that for those of you that are stylists out there, the new client, you get that when you get in they get in the chair and you take out the scissor and they cringe. You know, it's because somebody got them, you know, and texturized that hair all the way out to the end. So it's really important, you know, on curly hair not to break that hair out all the way to the ends.
And you don't want to. You don't need to add that texture all the way out to the end. It creates a frizz ball that Danielle's talking about. But curly hair needs as much texture as smoother or straighter hair, whether it's thicker, finer, whatever. You know, if your client's got one strand of hair, split it in half and texturize it out to the ends, because that creates a movement and a volume and a dimension into hair. So I think it's really, really important. I think it was my friend Sam Villa that used to always say that curly hair needs friends too, all the way out to the ends.
Ends need friends.
Yeah, so, you know, make sure that when you texturize hair, that you determine the type of hair and the texture of hair that you're working on before you choose any of these texturizing blades that you work with. You know, heck, some of you guys are texturizing with a texturizing blade, some of you guys are texturizing with a razor, some of you guys are texturizing with a straight blade. You know, it's a way to create texture. Even a clipper. My good friend Jose Perales, on the Dazzles Artistic Director, goes in there and texturizes with a clipper. But he creates these beautiful, textured, voluminous bob shapes that anybody's ever seen. So
I think it really just comes down to having a vision, you know, no matter how you're going to create the texture, whether it's going in with, you know, a tool or a product or with the blades. It doesn't really matter which ones you're going to use at that time on that client. It matters that you have a vision, and that vision works with what we have around us to create that final look that you have in your head when you see something for a client and what's going to work for them.
Yeah. I'm glad seeing you. So here goes, guys. Whether you're using tools, products, or cutting blades, you know what? The opportunities are endless. You know what? We have such a large variety of different approaches. You know, I told you guys earlier, you could take a hanger and bend the hanger, wrap the hair around the hanger, you know, and kind of hit it with the flat iron. Use a little texture thermal spray on there. You could take a foil, all right, wrap the hair inside of aluminum foil, bend the foil into an accordion, hit it with the flat iron, creating texture. You know, texture is a big part of some of the looks that you see today, whether they're smooth, straight, or curly. So take advantage of what's at your fingertips. I hope we were able to kind of enlighten you, share a couple little tricks with you. We hope to guys see you, I think, in 2 weeks. Am I correct? Am I wrong? It's the first, so 3 weeks. It'll be 3 weeks.
Yeah, it'll be 3 weeks.
We might even do that a week earlier or a week later because that's 4th of July weekend. So we might have to go a week later into that. So guys, look forward to us. We are actually going to go in and create a haircut for you in our next tips and tricks. We hope. Gerard Caruso at Gerard Caruso on Instagram.
And Danielle Perry, and Danielle_Perry, and that's on my Instagram.
So please check us out, follow us, go to our Facebook pages. We hope to see you guys soon. If I don't see you out at the show, we will see you on Facebook in about 3 weeks. Take care, guys.
Bye-bye.